What's going on, Crimson Tide fans? Chris Daughtry back with you guys here on the Alabama Football Report by Chat Sports. You had Tom Downey yesterday, so I did not have a chance to yell, "We're into the college football playoffs, baby." Number 9 seeded Alabama taking on the number 8 seed, the Oklahoma Sooners. This is going to be a tough one. Kalen DeBoer 0-2 against Oklahoma in the last 2 years here as Alabama's head coach, but Alabama does open up as a slight 1.5-point favorite in this ball game in just 11 days from now. Alabama taking on Oklahoma in the first round of the college football playoffs. Now, these two teams have already played each other so far this year. Oklahoma, while Alabama did play overall better than Oklahoma in that ball game, Oklahoma got the better of them because of, the multiple turnovers that you had in that game. Ty Simpson had an interception. You had multiple fumbles in that game. Can Alabama clean things up going to Norman, Oklahoma, and come away with a victory in the college football playoffs? If you guys are excited for the college football playoffs just like I am, make sure you get down there and smash that hype button here on today's show. If you're watching on mobile, go over to where it says comments, slide over to the right. You'll see the hype button right there. So if you guys are excited, hit that hype button for me right now. All right, coming up on today's show, we are going to be talking a lot of injury updates here from the Alabama side of things and from the Oklahoma side of things as well. I also want to touch on some things that we saw over the last couple of weeks here offensively that, I see a lot of people talking about it on social media, so I want to talk about it here on today's show as well. We're now 11 days from Alabama taking on Oklahoma. Like I said earlier, Kalen DeBoer 0-2 against the Sooners as the head coach for Alabama. But the Crimson Tide should have some notable players get a little bit healthier by the time that game rolls around. Let's get to it here. Two notable guys that got hurt during the SEC championship game. Zabien Brown, Justin Jefferson, both got hurt early and were declared out for that game. Kalen DeBoer, during his press conference, saying basically they hadn't got the report back yet, but just going off of, what the evaluations were on Saturday night, he expects both of those guys to be able to be good to go for that game versus Oklahoma. A couple more guys here. Jam Miller should be 100% by the time he gets back. Rolled that ankle, really got that ankle rolled up on during the Auburn game a couple weeks ago. Josh Cuevas has been out since the Eastern Illinois game. Did not see him in that game. Hasn't played since. Right now, Kalen DeBoer pretty much said we're holding on hope that he's going to be back. If I have to put a percentage on it, I'm saying as of right now, filming this video, probably 75-80%, which is a good thing, that Josh Cuevas probably going to be good to go for that Oklahoma game. When it comes to LT Overton and Kelby Collins, both of those guys were kind of unclear. Kalen DeBoer said illness/medical issues for those guys. So were they sick or was there something else going on between those guys? I don't really know exactly what, went down there. LT Overton spoke to the media on Tuesday, said he was excited to play Georgia in the SEC championship game, and then on Wednesday was ruled out. So don't exactly know what those illnesses are that they are referring to there, but hopefully you got 11 more days to go until that game. Hopefully they are going to be good to go. Kalen DeBoer said he was optimistic about those two guys there. And when it comes to the offensive line, in the SEC championship game, these guys did play. Kam Dewberry actually did not play in that game, I don't think. I think they started Geno VanDemark in there. He ended up going out. They ended up putting William Sanders in there in that left guard spot. Okay, good updates here overall, though. Kalen DeBoer basically said all of those guys should be 100% by the time you get to that first-round game against Oklahoma. So that was a lot of injuries that Alabama was having to deal with, but no excuses. Georgia also was having to deal with a lot of injuries going into that game. But I want to know, honestly, from you guys down at the pinned comment of today's video, how much did all of those injuries really play into the loss versus Georgia? Let me know what you guys think. Offensive line, defensive line, really banged up in that game. Battle of the trenches, it was a big key factor in why Georgia was able to dominate Alabama. So let me know. Be honest with me. Scale it 1 to 10 down in the comment section of today's video. Now, a couple weeks ago, Bama Online's Charlie Potter reported that Danny Lewis Jr. was expected to be out for the remainder of the season. Now, did that mean the regular season and the playoffs, or did it just mean the regular season? I don't really know. We haven't seen Danny Lewis Jr. much this season, but we did see him play a little bit during that SEC championship game. Emphasis on a little bit, he only played 3 snaps. And I'll continue to say, we just haven't seen Danny Lewis Jr. much this year. 19 snaps against Georgia in week 5, 22 snaps against Vanderbilt there in week 6, and then, against Missouri and LSU. Not very many snaps for him in those games. I'll continue to say he makes a massive difference in Alabama's ability to run the football, especially when you have healthy running backs out there. And when you don't have Danny Lewis Jr., I think it's very noticeable how much of a difference it plays into it, because you have a guy that is a veteran. He knows this system. And, instead you have to have Caleb Edwards out there, who is a good football player in his own right, but he is a true freshman at the end of the day. So hopefully we can see Danny Lewis Jr. by the time you get to that game versus Oklahoma. Kalen DeBoer did not give an update on him, so I guess we're just going to have to wait and see until that availability report comes out the week of the game. Now back to the offensive line here now. I don't know what's going on with Jaden Roberts right now. He did not play versus Auburn or Georgia the past 2 weeks here. And I'll be honest, I think Wilkin Formby has played pretty damn well at that right guard position. They put Michael Carroll at right tackle. They put Wilkin Formby, slid him a little bit inside to that right guard position. But with the struggles at right guard and the guys being banged up, are you telling me that, at left guard, Jaden Roberts couldn't slide in there? They preach the fact that, they want the offensive line to be super versatile. In the preseason, they said everybody's kind of playing everywhere right now. And I get it. Jaden Roberts isn't perfect by any means, any stretch of the imagination there. But, he doesn't necessarily, fit the system right now of the quote-unquote smaller athletic offensive linemen that, Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb like to have in this offensive system. They can pull, they can get out in space, and they can be super athletic. I guess that's playing into this right now. Like I said, he's not perfect, but come on, man. This is a guy that I think can help Alabama in the run game, and I just can't imagine that he's any worse than Geno VanDemark or Kam Dewberry at that left guard position. I want to see Jaden Roberts play more, I'm sure there's going to be somebody on this video that's like, I'm sure more than the coaching staff does. Well, I've seen a lot of people on social media say the exact same thing about Jaden Roberts. He's played, under Nick Saban. I get it. It's a different offensive system. It's a different run scheme than they're playing right now under this new system of Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb. But, man, not having Jaden Roberts out there, I think you see a difference in the offensive line. I just wonder if he could play over there on that left side. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you think Jaden Roberts should be playing more? Let me know what you guys think. Type Y for yes or N for no. All right, we'll continue with some injury news here in just a second. But first, this episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. It's the holiday season right now. Best time of the year for sports. You have bowl games. You have basketball matchups. You have playoff pushes. It's all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every single day, what gifts to buy now that it's almost close to Christmas time, what to eat, which games to watch, because there's going to be a lot of bowl games coming on here in the next couple of weeks, there's one place where it feels good to be right, and that, my friends, is on PrizePicks. This is what we got cooked up for the Sunday slate of games this weekend in professional football. Going with Drake May, more than passing yards. Shedeur Sanders, more than passing yards for him. And then Ja'Marr Chase, we're actually going to go with the less than on him for this weekend's game. The Bengals pretty much out of the playoff race right now, so I don't know. I guess we'll see. But 84.5 receiving yards, going with the less than there for Ja'Marr Chase. And look, that one might not end up, working out for us, but one of my favorite features on PrizePicks is it doesn't matter how you play. If you want flexibility, choose the flex play, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. But if you want the biggest payouts and you're really confident in your picks, go with the power play. Because no matter how you play, PrizePicks is a great way to put your takes to the test. New feature alert, by the way, here on PrizePicks. They now offer early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. So download the PrizePicks app today. Use promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. That link, by the way, down in the comment section and the description of today's video. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Now, before we get to the Oklahoma injury news here, I did want to talk about some of the offensive struggles Alabama's had over the past couple of weeks. Look, the offense has struggled with consistency for the majority of the season. For the most part, outside of probably 3 or 4 games, the run game has virtually been non-existent. You had negative yards against Georgia the other night. And here recently, the pass game has kind of been hit or miss too. Ty Simpson has struggled the past few weeks, really, kind of since that LSU game. Ty Simpson doesn't really look like he's been the same. Is he injured? I don't know. I think everybody's kind of, dealing with things right now. Teams are beginning to blitz him a lot, more than they were at the beginning of the season where he was doing a good job against the blitz. And, I will say this too. Credit to Georgia's defensive backs. They really had the wide receivers locked up the other night. And you could see on, a lot of occasions where Ty actually had time to throw. The offensive line did a decent job. You could see him going through the different progressions, and there just wasn't, anybody open. I think you got to give some of that credit to Georgia's defensive backs. And, we need to see the offensive coaching staff step it up here in the college football playoffs. If they want a chance to go to Norman and beat Oklahoma, it's another top defense in the country. And, if you want a chance to, continue playing football here, this offensive coaching staff has got to do a better job. And really, it starts with this guy right here, Ryan Grubb, calling plays. Is he going to call plays from the field? Is he going to call plays from the booth? I don't know what it's going to happen, but in critical moments in the past, month or so here, Ryan Grubb has had some questionable play calls, 2 that really stick out to me that went against Alabama. First, that Oklahoma game, 4th and 6, critical moment right at the end of the game. I think there was like 52 seconds left. You're on the right hash, and you call a out route to Ryan Williams all the way on the left side of the field, all the way out to the left side, to the left sidelines, and it was incomplete. I don't know why we're making, Ty Simpson make that throw under pressure, especially against an Oklahoma team, and the same thing against Georgia, who was pressuring Ty Simpson all night. Against Georgia the other night, it was 4th and 10. I think it was from your own 12-yard line. It was that 4th down play at the end of the game where it was a very, very critical moment. And I agree, going for that 4th down play, you had to do it to give yourselves a chance at winning. I think at the time it was a 14-point game. You go down there, you score a touchdown, it's a 7-point game. You never know what could happen. So I agree with going for it in that situation there. I even think there was another one late in the third quarter. It was like you're at like your own 48-yard line. I think it was 4th and 2. I thought they should have gone for that one. They ended up punting it. It is what it is there. But same thing here. This play call, you're, I believe, on the left hash, and they were trying to throw it just all the way across the field. It's a long throw there for Ty Simpson. I think they need to do a better job getting him some of those easy throws. Now, I will say this too. The 4th and 2 versus Auburn, I think Ty Simpson checked that to a different place. So shout out Ty Simpson to be able to do that, getting that touchdown late in the game to Isaiah Horton on that. Now, there have been some good play calls too. I don't want to say that there haven't been, any good play calls here. You remember early in the season, Ryan Grubb was in his bag with that Caden Proctor play in the first Georgia matchup. Same game as well. That play at the end to ice the game versus Georgia, great play call there as well. But the past few games, it has seemed like the moment has been too big for Ryan Grubb when it comes to these critical moments. And now, the past 3 games now, he has moved from the box to the field. I wonder, when they go to Norman, Oklahoma, where is Ryan Grubb going to be calling plays from? I want to hear from you guys down inside the comments here. Where do you think Ryan Grubb has been better calling plays? Where do you think he should be calling plays in Oklahoma? Type B if you think he should be up in the box, or type F if you think he's done a better job on the field. Personally, for me, I think he's done a better job up in the box. A couple more injuries here for the Oklahoma Sooners. Brent Venables gave some updates here in his press conference yesterday. First up, Gentry Williams, one of their starting quarterbacks. He's going to be out for the remainder of the season. He had shoulder surgery the other day. He started 5 games for Oklahoma this season before suffering a shoulder injury in Week 8 versus South Carolina. Has not seen the field since then. Now, they tried to get him back for that first game versus Alabama. He was not actually listed on the availability report that week. He dressed out for the game, but then ended up re-injuring that in practice after the Alabama game, which, like I said, he did not end up playing in. So Gentry Williams not going to be out there for the Oklahoma Sooners. A couple key injuries here for starters for Oklahoma as well. Mason Thomas going to be questionable with that quad injury that he suffered in the Tennessee game, actually. He had a scoop and score. I think it was like 71, 77 yards, something like that. And on that play, suffered a quad injury. You also have their starting center, Jake Maikkula, is going to be questionable with an infection as well. So you never know what could happen with infections there, if they could linger or what happens. You just really got to be able to kind of treat that right with antibiotics. Don't even know what the infection is, where it's at or anything like that. But 2 big-time injuries that we're going to have to, track here over the next 11 days or so. But Mason Thomas, like I said, he did not play versus Alabama the first go-around, but man, this guy is absolutely electric. I would say one of the best players in the SEC so far this year. You have this Oklahoma team. This defense is absolutely insane. Now, I will say Alabama did a good job against their defense overall, outside of the couple of turnovers that their offense ended up having in that game. But if Mason Thomas isn't going to be good to go for this game, that could be a very key injury that we're going to have to monitor, like I said, here over the next 11 days.